Hi, and welcome to Karate Over Coffee. My name is Cheyne McMahon, and I'm your host. This is a podcast dedicated to my experiences in karate. I started karate as soon as I could walk. My parents owned a full-time dojo, so I literally grew up in the dojo as our house was on top. I've lived and breathed karate my whole life, and I've trained with some really amazing sensei, competed for my country, and I've learned so much about the evolution and history of karate. And I'm here to share my experiences and learn. Enjoy.
How can I turn this into positivity now? It's a little difficult,
Make
but
some
I
money.
see, yeah, I see the positivity in it is like, I started very small, but I continued. So it's a continued process. And in the beginning, probably they were thinking like, let him do this. Let's talk bad of him behind his back, and so nobody
Mm,
will listen. That's what they do. It's a fact. They are like goose. That's how they are. It's really, really horrible. I tell you,
yeah,
don't go to Okinawa if you don't like politics.
yeah.
Like it, go there.
And also they tell other people, and then that person believes that person without knowing you. Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah.
It's really wicked. Like uh, anyway, I'm so I was trying how to make something of it and how to crack this system a little bit open. It's not these dojo, they will have their share anyway. But I was thinking about how can I give this information to a huge audience, to
Mm,
everybody who's interested in it, without these guys having to spend 10, 15, 20 or more years in some association which they believe is a style,
mm,
pay every month, pay for certificates, for belts, for badges,
yeah.
all these images that are made there, the iconography of all that, to get some nice certificate in order to claim to have that. Because it's isn't it that the Okinawans say it's a culture and they want to have it recognized by the UNESCO as a culture. Yes. If that's
Hmm.
the case, how is it that you have to pay so much money? How is
Yeah.
it that you have to travel there like every year? You're asking me, these people, they never traveled outside of Okinawa Prefecture on their own, paying for their own on a trip to research another culture. And then they're sitting there and waiting here, come to us and pay, come 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and come every year and bring your students. Do you have a dojo? How many students do you have? Oh, we're going to give you a first down right away if you have more than 50 students. That's how it works. So let's be honest here.
Yeah.
This is right. The technique is good. I'm not talking about technique. Good. Technique is good. And there's a police dojo here, right here. They have like 3 or 4 gyms. They have outside. They have every sort of training you can have, from jujutsu, nogi, gi, judo, karate, taekwondo, boxing, boxing over 50, all sort of historical fencing, no Olympic fencing, or just 15 minutes away from here.
Mm,
So it's I just say this is karate. If I go to a jiu-jitsu training, then I call it karate for myself because it's my freedom to do that
mm.
because everybody else is doing it too.
Yeah,
And this is
exactly.
right. This is my the how I change my perspective and make it positive. If you say to me like what I learned as a mechanic, it's martial art for me. I say, and you cannot tell me I'm wrong. What I did there is super hard martial arts training, 8, 9 hours a day, working with your hands, all these tools. There's real danger and all that. You have to climb, you have to do this, you have to run, all that. You have to do your time as a fireman and all that. I say, for me, for my interpretation, it's part of my martial art. So I want to turn this information into positive. And to return to the project, since I know the kata and I know a lot of kata, and I know kata basically, which they have held as a secret for decades because they were not willing to teach others in fear of losing it, because they were afraid of losing it.
Crazy, yeah.
Yes, and so they forgot a lot of it.
Is it just
And
Bojutsu?
one more time. No, yeah, but the Bojutsu kata are the higher kata. So all the like nunchaku and teko and timbe and all that is, I mean, it's nothing big and nothing you can really use. It's like iconic.
Yeah.
For example, nunchaku is forbidden. You cannot in my country. So if for some reason there would be a raid and they would find something here, I would get accused of illegal weapon possession.
And that's why you should never put your face on those AIs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's all leading up to nunchaku, mate. It's all back to nunchaku.
Yeah. Well, the nunchaku kata are not very difficult. They actually are very easy. And I could go to, I think, to Holland, or I was thinking to go to, when I go on a trip to Okinawa or somewhere else, I can just make the video.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do is to put the kata out, because in Okinawa they do the same kata, but they want to have the authority over it. So the most important thing, and that's what they told me, is that the headquarters is going to remain in Okinawa, because it's a source of income, it's a source of pride, it's a source of everything, money, chicks, and power. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
In Okinawa too, it is. It's that easy. Money, chicks, and power. I'm sorry. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not like
Semi-gods?
like monks or something. They're not.
Yeah.
Very normal people. Very ordinary motivations and all that. Very, very ordinary.
So what else have you got happening there?
Yeah, I'm thinking about how to do it then afterwards. I could do the films on my own. I just bought new equipment for like $700-800 or so, just small stuff that I need. Yeah, I'm thinking about how to do it some other way. I don't know yet how, but I want the stuff to get out for everybody to access it, even though it's going to be for a small fee, but it's going to be available for everybody without having to marry someone you don't even know.
Into an association, yeah.
Sign a contract for the next 20 or 30 years or what, and you never know what you actually get, right? Just so that some person in a different part of the world can boast in front of his friends, like, look, I got a dojo all over the world, and they get out the world map, in the bunkers. They're sitting in the bunkers, and I don't know, I got a dojo here, and dojo here. I got more dojos than you. That's how they are, right? Yeah,
well,
that's really.
It's no different to Japanese from my experiences. Not all Japanese, definitely not. And it wouldn't be all Okinawans either, but obviously it's a big amount.
There has been a lot of manipulation of karate by all kinds of people, by all kinds of organizations, by all kinds of stakeholders since the 1950s. For 70 years now. Everybody's manipulating the technique of karate, the meaning of karate, the philosophy of karate, all for their own advantage. And that's why there are so many groups and so many ideas that which you cannot say it's right or wrong. So it's better to assume it's your own freedom to do whatever you want. It's a freedom of the JKA to define what they want. I think all over they're doing a good job, right? Of course, Okinawa, they want to have their own share back, and they say we are the home origin of karate, and that's good. Everybody's got their share, you know. So it's a lot of government money spent in there. It's tax free and all this. So they you know, they get returns all the time for the expenditure that they have,
Yeah.
and all that. You know, it's there's a lot of here, like it's really important for them because what's the use if you go bankrupt with the dojo? So you have to um, manage it like a business. It is because if you cannot pay the rent anymore, the dojo will close, and nobody, you know, it's not good for anybody. So it's
Yes.
good
Yeah.
that government helps and all that. Yeah, I think
What do you
overall,
think? What do you think is a way that the average karate guy, people who are listening to this, how can we make karate great again? Or how
yeah,
can we?
actually, it's a very good question. But I tell you something: in order to make karate great again, you don't need to go to Japan or you don't need to go to Okinawa.
Mm,
Because we have so many good schools here. We have karate in Germany. There was a guy in the 1930s or 1940s here. The first fourth Dan Kodokan, a guy who was later involved in double espionage in Germany, Western Germany before the war. He went to Japan. He was a fourth dan in judo. The first jiu-jitsu schools in Germany, they're from 1904, 1905. They still exist. We got a lot of jiu-jitsu schools which are aimed at just self-defense. You know, they don't care about tradition. They care about self-defense. So you know, you can integrate that. You can integrate that. You can learn karate, whatever, Shotokan, Goju Ryu, Vado Ryu. There's so many schools there, and you can learn good karate. And you have to just find the teacher who fits what you want to do. If you want to do full contact fighting, or you want to go WKF rules, or you want to do Kyokushin, or you are interested in Yakusoku Committee, or you are interested in kata. You have to figure that out. But you can do that here. You can train in a karate dojo here for all your life without ever having to go to Japan or Okinawa, and you will have good karate. Your karate will not be less good than in Okinawa or Japan.
yeah.
If you go to training, you just have to go to training 3 times a week. And when
Yeah.
you have more time, you go more often. And when you have a testing, you go more often. I have seen the testing. I have seen the grading tests in Okinawa, and I've seen the grading tests here. The grading tests here are much more difficult and
Yeah.
much more physically and everything. Of course, the Okinawan agents they see this. There's a micro conflict again here. You see that. So
Sure.
if I say that, I hear, oh, it's just because you don't understand it. Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, I did post something earlier. Um, if you're not grappling in karate, and grappling can be whatever you want your jiu-jitsu locks or your throws or close quarter stuff. Is that really karate? And then somebody messaged me and said, well, 90% of Okinawan clubs don't actually do any grappling. So does that mean that they don't do karate? That might be a different topic.
Yeah. Oh, you see, the conflict is there from the start, right?
Yeah.
There are some people who use it like with the grappling in order to claim authority, right? There are so many people. Nobody ever has seen them in a karate seminar. Nobody has ever heard of them anywhere, and suddenly they are there and they show grappling and say this is the real karate, and it's good stuff technically. But you see, the conflict is it's a conflict of stakeholders. There are some uprisers who coming up and say our idea is better. We just pass them all by, you know. We just do it like Hannibal. We go over the Alps. It's shorter way than going around.
Yeah.
And so everybody tries to present a good picture, and that's I see positive because we all enjoy it, and we all have something from it. But there are from logic, and that's something that Kinjo Sensei said. He wrote about the development of karate since the 1905 or something, since it came to school karate. And he said that so many things were misunderstood within the development already in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and onward. So many things were misunderstood that it's impossible to reverse this. What happened in that time? It's impossible to correct what has went wrong in all the ideas that karate have
gone too far,
manifested into. But he says, but notwithstanding that, albeit this problem, we gonna look at what has karate actually been at that time, and we will figure out that it was something completely different to everything that we are told that we're told today. It has not been Kyokushin. It has not been wrestling. It has not been this. It has not been self-defense solely. It has not been just this or that or that or that or that. All these emphasis on something much smaller than karate is. But he explained it, and he explained it technically. Like the lead hand would do the strike, and the backhand would do the
knockout
that he came up with. And people are slowly getting it, and then they're recreating it. And the moment they got it, and then you found the articles by Motobu Sensei, by Motobu Naoki Sensei, who explains things like the Karakata Meshi. How did that work? How did that work? Because people say that was street fight. It was not street fight. There was a referee probably standing there, and you would attach the arm, would feel, and then you would try to, tag the other person. You would not strike their eye out, punch their eye out
to the body.
Or you would do all these stuff that was the killing techniques that were developed in karate, like toward the Second World War. Hint, hint. Guess what? Guess how? Like Fukikata, a few months after Pearl Harbor. Hint, hint. Yeah, like all these secret what jungle warfare techniques, and like the modern uechi ryokata and all these kind of things that came from since the 50s, right? They have a different background. They have a different setting. Why this evolved? They evolved a lot in the 50s just because the good-looking Americans would, were more attractive to young Okinawan women than their own guys were. So there was one reason they went out in the night and I hate this guys. I hate this good-looking American. He has so many cigarettes and he can buy a beer and he's getting all the ladies and I don't get anything. Yeah, that's simple sometimes,
Yeah.
And so there's another micro conflict. You see the conflict here, right? There's so many conflicts, right? There's a conflict in you have to distinguish between karate until 1945 and past 1945. For example, the what's it called? The Komeikan, the community centers in Okinawa. There were no community centers pre-1945. But a lot of karate happened at community centers since the 1950s. Chibana Sosin, he taught in Shuri at a community center. And the monument they erased for him is standing at this community center, right? But the community centers, these were institutions established by the American government of the Ryukyu Islands for a certain reason, because Okinawa was not a democratic country. That was it was a part of a totalitarian country until 1945, and people forget that. A totalitarian country, similar to what today is North Korea. So all this fantasizing about how nice it was there and all that is not actually a fact. So the Americans established the Komeikan Community Center for one simple reason: to support and to establish a democratic institution on community level.
Mm.
That's why they did it. So you could say that the American government added to the development of karate because there were not real dojo at that time. Only the community centers, they had the space inside and outside to do these activities. But these are all things that we don't hear. But if you anything you know about karate and you use it in you argument along it, and other people, they don't know it or they see it differently, and so you have these conflicts, and that's where the negativity comes from.
Yeah.
We got to be better than that. We got to get away from that negativity, and I think that's important to wrap it up with the negativity and positivity thing. So
Yeah.
it's also sometimes a benevolence. I say, you do what you want, and that's what I try to do. It not always works. You do what you like with the karate. It's okay. Just don't tell me what karate is.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what my karate has to be. Don't go there and say this is karate, like Oyama Mazutatsu. Alone this sentence, this is karate. It's not okay because you cannot know it. You have to, it's you have to be much more precise, right? We're talking about karate post 45, pre 45. In the war area, Japan was at war from 1931 to 1945. It was not just the Battle of Okinawa. And Okinawans, they served all over Asia. They served in Taiwan and elsewhere. And they were part of the colonization imperial power of Japan. But at the same time, they claim, look, the evil Japanese, they destroyed our culture and all that, but they were working for the same machine.
Yeah.
So it's two-faced always. You have this two-faced, and that's what I'm saying this right now. This is very Okinawan. You always have the two-faced thing. So we don't, in order to make karate better, we should not listen to anybody. We should listen to ourselves and think what I feel is good for me. I know I can do a Jodan Mawashi without you blocking that, without anybody blocking that. I know I can do that. I don't have to be told by someone else that this is dangerous. I don't have to be told by someone else that we don't do this because they have shorter legs or something. This is not, it's not my problem. Right? I can understand that. All these the attempts to explain things. Why is it logic? And then it comes to the fact that what Mike Tyson said. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth or something. So that's why we need to get more independent. I don't need anybody to tell me if I do this, then the eye is going to be injured. I know that. I have known that since a child. I don't need to know. Nobody needs to tell me that. So these are things. So we want more independence, and we want respect from the Okinawan and the Japanese stakeholders, and not just respect as a potential tourist who brings money to the country and to their economy, but as martial artists. I don't accept it to be marginalized as a foreigner who will never grasp it. Because, we have our own hand-to-hand violence here. We have hooligans. We have all that. What are they even telling me? From a country where they don't even have fist fights in the first place. How do they know that? From a martial art that 300 years ago supposedly was used in all-out fighting, hand-to-hand, which we don't even know. Well, it's a kata, and they think about it. It's theorizing about it, right? It's theorizing. I might make a theory. If I slam my body hard enough for a long time enough, I will probably have a better chance to not shy away in a fight because I'm used to it.
Yeah.
That's good. It's okay. But if you have never actually experienced the adrenaline in such a fight, like the weak knees that come afterwards,
Yep.
afterwards,
Yep.
the hematomes and all kind of bruises that you have that you notice the next morning only, not on that night, not on the fight, then you should not teach me about self-defense or anything related to it. That's what I think. That's what I think that we have to do. We have to be like we have to be proud of what we can do. You know, we should not let ourselves marginalize because we cannot speak Japanese or read Japanese, or because we haven't grown up in the region of Okinawa. We can have good karate on our own. Everybody's welcome. If they want to support us, that's good. That's not the point. The point is we are not marginalized, and we are not your number 3 and number 4 servants or something. That's not what we are. We are good enough on our own, right? So I was thinking about to invite all sensei from Japan and Okinawa, and but they have to do it our way.
pay for themselves.
Yeah, they have to pay for themselves. They have to go on a biking tour. I would love to see that, man. They're gonna so die. They're gonna die, man. We have so many hills here and all that.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, minus 20 degrees. Yeah. So yes, warriors. They're warriors, right? No, they're not.
Exactly. All right. Well, look, we might wrap it up there, Andy. Thank you very much for coming on. And we'll look forward to when your new project comes up. Whatever the next project is. I'm sure you've got a few rattling around in your head.
Yeah, I keep doing things like you have noticed I'm past the TikTok.
Yeah,
that wasn't enough, but I might find something new.
Yep.
Anyway, it was big fun. Thank you for the coffee talk. We thought we talk about positive things only, but I'm afraid, and it's, you know, as we talked about, it's impossible to not step on anybody's toes in the karate world.
Sure.
And I'm afraid I did raise a few micro to medium level conflicts with what I said now, but hey, it's okay.
Well, it's how we learn. Yeah. All right. Thanks guys, and make sure if you like the episode, subscribe as well. All right. Thanks guys. See you later.
Thanks, Cheyne. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Karate Over Coffee. And if you're enjoying the podcast and getting something out of the episodes, there are a few things you can do to help us. If you don't already subscribe to us on YouTube, please do so. We release these episodes every Friday morning, Australian time. Plus, we release some smaller espresso shots during the week on both our YouTube channel and our Facebook community group. You can also subscribe to us on our Apple or Spotify. Leaving a 5-star review will be very beneficial as well. If you have any suggestions or topics or feedback or anything that you want to talk about, please put it in our comment section on our Karate Over Coffee community Facebook group. If you'd like to support us, please visit our online shop where we have official Karate Over Coffee shirts, hoodies and mugs available. Your continued support is appreciated and a vital way for the podcast to keep moving forward. Thanks guys.